Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the June tabletop conversation for The Long Spoon. I'm Robert.
I'm Suzanne with Clarity.
I'm Sandra.
I'm Suzanne.
And I'm Christina.
And we are, let's see, getting this a little bigger on our screen here. Um, we're referencing for the kind of the seed essence of this conversation with, let me see if I can make that a little smaller to find the number. Number 31 of the Wisdom Oracle uh, deck. And it has the collage.
And we are actually the Clarity House family.
Yes.
It is
Yeah,
very
as
true.
in conversation.
Yes. And the collage on this page with number 31 is over and over again, the words roll into new calculations, and we raise our way of seeing to a whole new rainbow. So, and I love this collage with some of the early work in the Susanna's World books.
Yeah.
And,
Which has been a big part of our life, really, that these books have been in the making and utilized through the years that we've all been together.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to read the...
In the fluidity of language, the words weave through our thoughts, swirling into new combinations, new meanings, and new revelations. Over and over again, they unfurl in our minds, sparking fresh calculations and shifting our perspective. Like a kaleidoscope turning, we raise our way of seeing to a whole new rainbow of understanding. With each iteration, the words draw us deeper into the realm of imagination, where the familiar transforms into the extraordinary, and the mundane becomes a tapestry of vibrant hues and intricate patterns.
Boy, does that go with the collage on that piece.
Yes,
That's just
perfect.
a perfect balance there. They bring that down a little bit more so.
Yeah, if you can enlarge that when you look at the spoon,
yeah,
you'll really enjoy it.
Number 31. So this month, June, we're moving, the garden is moving itself quite lovely after a big help from our plantings, but it's looking very beautiful this time of year.
Is.
Very green blossoms coming through. It's quite wonderful. Let's see, in relationship to this particular piece and why June would be have a relevance with this is the fluidity of language, and the garden has so much language inside of it. Just incredible.
Yeah, it's the language of the flowers and the herbs, but it's also the language of our conversations.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because we pretty much live in the garden once we get it set into place.
Starting now, yeah.
We have breakfast there, we have lunch there, we have supper there.
Yeah.
We just had dinner there a little while ago.
We take breaks. We swing there. All of us have swings, and we swing there in the garden.
I loved how Robert the other day said, I love how we have zones in our garden. Because there's different areas, like as the sun moves, where you can go to get more sun when you need it or get warmed up. And then there's shaded, tinted places where you can rest and get cooled off, or be in the breezes if you're getting too much sun. And there's just all these wonderful places like to stretch and do yoga or meditate. And there's places to rest, there's places to read and swing, and it's just, I love how the garden plan just keeps unfolding to nurture us.
Well, with the red fence, it feels like a world
Yes.
all to itself. It's really, and the garden at first in the spring, we were all out in the garden planting, you know. And then now we're all out in the garden eating and swinging and sleeping and talking and
tending and
yeah, which is like another whole thing.
And I do love how it is like there's summer palace and the winter palace, because the difference between that shaded, tinted area and the filled sun area towards the back is when you're out in the sun and you're working and you go back over to to the shaded area, it's like
The
stepping
tent's
into a
much cooler.
giant
Yeah.
air conditioner. It's so fun to have both. It's a good balance.
Oh, well, this is one of the few really old houses down in this street.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And these old houses they're built so well, they do not get hot as quite quick as the other houses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, one of the few that
they
has
cool
trees.
down at night and hold their coolness for quite a while.
Oh, yeah. And I love this Susanna's World. This is actually a collage of many different pages in Susanna's World, which it's a very poetic way. They like all speak, and so then comes the writing around it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like where they all intersect and they speak, and then it becomes poetry. Yeah.
Yeah. It's wonderful.
That's beautiful.
Well, what else do you want to talk about?
For the month of June. It's
Well, I'm just
unfolding.
looking at the last paragraph of this, the expansion of this collage, and I just love the part about, we've talked a lot about the realm of imagination and the importance of continuing to dive deeper into that and remember our childhood and remember that original part of ourselves that had no problem with living in the realm of imagination and the importance of it, because that is the place where, like it said, that the familiar can transform into the extraordinary. And I think can't imagine that there's any of us that aren't always loving to look for miracles and magic and finding those things that you just can't believe that what seemed impossible actually happened, or something you could have never thought you could even imagine suddenly happened. And I love that really is how the mundane of what seems to be the mundane of your life actually can become a tapestry of vibrant hues and intricate patterns. Life has more color when you are able to tap into your imagination, and I know that's something that I certainly long for more of, and always intentioning to reach for more.
Well, I think this time last year we were still, I think, doing the red.
We were just
Yeah.
finishing.
Just
yeah.
finishing.
And it reminds me of, like, we have the red house and the red tent, and then we have the red fence. I don't know. One of the things, my favorite things, was to take a blanket and put it over the clothesline, and
Oh yes.
pull it out and
Yeah.
kind of get in there, or
Make a
get,
tent. Yeah.
and it's like getting inside of things. And it feels like to me that the red fence is like that. That it kind of makes our play world to ourselves. And children love to put up tents or tables or anything
Right. Yeah. Put
that they can get inside of and play. And I remember them doing that even in the playroom here at the house when the kids were here. And it's like we've made our own play
I love
world.
that. You are so right. That is how I feel going outside this year, especially. I started to feel that last year, but this year I really feel like it's our own little playground, like our own little. Like
And
we
nobody
have all the things we love.
it's just like,
Nobody's gonna intrude. Nobody can see in, and we're just enjoying. Just relaxing or harvesting or writing or doing whatever comes to us to want to do.
and it's not like we're in the garden naked.
No.
It's but to a child, to an adult, they would it'd be like they could go out in the garden naked, but not to us. It's like
it's about
really when you want to be in the child's world, the world of imagination, and where you
and wonder.
wonder.
Everything's
It's like
possible.
you want that kind of that red fence around you, that people aren't just, you aren't on show for everybody walks down the walk. And I don't know, it gathers a world gathers inside this red fence,
You are right.
and the
Yeah.
flowers blooming and everything. It's just building.
That is really cool.
And we had dinner in the red fence tonight,
Yeah.
and
So
and
nice.
Christina and Suzanne, like fairies they are, they made the dinner and brought it out and served everybody the most wonderful, joyful meal.
Oh.
And then they came out and sat with us all. We all sat together and we all laughed and told stories and listened to Susanna adjust to the fact that her two oldest sons had got their own apartments.
And getting ready to turn 20.
Yeah.
She can't quite wrap her head around that.
Yeah,
I don't think any of us can.
Oh, God. But it is like when you all go over to your little swing on the other side, well, when all the yellow flowers come up,
Oh, no.
it's like you're inside,
We are.
little people inside a giant garden.
Beautiful.
It's so true.
You
Those
can
yellow
watch all the
flowers are
bees
so
go from
tall.
one flower to
Yeah.
another.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cute seeing y'all over there just talking.
We love it.
Have your little hats on a lot of times.
I was thinking about how one of the lines here is talking about how we raise our way of seeing to a whole new rainbow, like a kaleidoscope, and how we've been moving to kind of eating more like Mediterranean, and
Yes.
and knowing that we're eating like the rainbow, and that it's like the more colorful palette we can have on our plates. It's like that we're really taking that in, so we're not only surrounded by color on every wall and all the artwork and the flowers and all the garden, but it's like that we're even consuming all of that color.
Oh, I love
And
it.
Oh.
it feels
It's
like
really
we've
true.
just naturally gravitated to the
Uh-huh.
Mediterranean thing, not like a diet, but more like a, just suggestions of, and thinking about all that's
Beautiful.
happening in the world around the Mediterranean, and
Oh,
to think
that's
that it incorporates more parts of the world than probably any other region.
Oh, my
Because
God.
it's like North Africa, Tunisia, and then it's like Italy,
France
and then it's
Spain,
Crete,
and,
and
yeah.
Greece, and then it's like Turkey and Syria, and
Croatia.
it's like, and all of that coastline. It's unbelievable, all the way to Barcelona in Spain, and I mean that's a lot to encompass for a palette. And so I loved how that came forward here,
And most of that palette is
There's a-
consumed outside.
Right. Yes.
In the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They, they don't
Open air.
stay in little, air conditioned place. They're outside on the big
Yeah.
long tables,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dining out front.
eating. And we eat most of our meals outside in the summer.
Yeah.
Well, and this long spoon is such a feast,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
So
it
it's
has
perfect.
it's very inclusive on all of the
And full of
color palettes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
that's good. That's true.
And I was thinking of moving into June. I just opened up to the last flip book that we did last week for this week, for the week we're in. And the title of that is "I Lean Into a Life of Color,
Oh,
Fiber,
nice.
Fabric, and Deep Love."
That's right. It
And the
was.
introduction says, "The leaning, the peeling apart, the acceptance, the trust. Your paper doll of existing presence is about to be cut out of your papered awareness.
Oh,
You're about to have more mobility
Mm-hmm.
from the position that you've come to know and grown into. Because we work all the time with conversation and sharing of insights, and so this is a time this June and this week in particular of really leaning into the color of the season, coming into as you're moving in towards summer. And I think it's just extraordinary. I love that, where the familiar transforms into the extraordinary, and the mundane becomes a tapestry of vibrant hues and intricate patterns. And boy, does that garden do that.
For sure.
And consciousness does that, and creativity does that, and so they're really interwoven with the realm of imagination.
but I hadn't thought about, like Christina said, that our palate, even our eating palate,
Yeah.
going Mediterranean, that
Yeah.
it's keeping up with the garden and everything
Let's
else.
keep it up with it, yeah.
Oh, that's
And I don't think it's any accident that the two words that palate and palate
Yes.
for
Palette,
how
how-
you eat,
Yeah.
the taste
Oh.
palette, and a color palette
Mhm.
for painting.
Yeah.
You know, the two things are
And they had
about
to change the
tasting
spelling of
color.
the. They had
Yeah.
to change the spelling of
A
the two
little
words
bit,
so you
but it's
wouldn't
still-
eat paint.
That's
You eat the paint, they
So
added
drink your
extra
paint
L.
water and don't eat
Yeah.
your paint.
And
But
that.
it's just you're tasting color,
Yeah.
and then at the same time,
And
then
all
also
these new pieces would emerge during this time too.
I
just
know.
Yeah.
that you all are painting, and I mean that's
And we
huge.
haven't painted since we did our last show, 2019.
So
Yeah.
that's a real
And we haven't
activation
painted
of
since.
another palette right there.
Yeah.
We've been busy as we could be.
But now
we're
we-
not with painting on canvas, and now we're back to it. It feels
Yeah,
so
we've painted. We've completed 4 pieces,
good. Mm-hmm.
larger pieces and 2 small, and then we've drawn 4 more pieces.
Yeah.
too.
They're
They're
stunningly
wonderful.
galactic.
Oh, thank
If I had
Aw.
to summarize it.
Thank
Thank
you for
you.
saying that.
Yeah, that
They are
makes
very
us-
different.
Makes us feel good.
Than
Yeah.
like you said, it's a very
always
different
Yeah.
looking and everything, and we have to get to know them. They're completely new to us.
Yeah.
They are new to
The
us.
new
But-
energies.
I'm glad that they are our beings because I've I've come to be so comforted by the different beings that
Yes.
come through this work.
Mm-hmm.
And at last show, I loved it because it was history. It was
Yeah.
alchemists of past, but these beings are present,
Yeah.
and they're
They're coming.
and it's hard to, it's almost like well, we made it up, but everything's made up. Everything that's
Yeah,
new
right.
is made up.
Yeah.
You're
That's
right.
what,
And
remember,
so
I love
we've
that
made
line
it up.
I love it.
that Roald Dahl wrote, and they quoted in James and the Giant Peach when he gets to New York, and he's talking to him and saying, "But everything is made up. All of New York, it had to be someone's idea first. So there isn't a thing that isn't made up to begin with. Imagination is the foundation.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But even as an artist, you forget you have permission to make
To
it up.
To make it up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You gonna say?
No, I agree. When Robert was talking, I loved the first line because I realized that we do this all the time when we're in conversation, as the 5 of us,
Mm-hmm.
in the fluidity of language. The words weave through our thoughts, swirling into new combinations, new meanings, and new revelations. There is never a confirmation or a conversation that we don't come up with new meanings and new revelations.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But you just have to sit there
Yeah.
and wait. You know, we've
or
learned
just
to
so
allow.
far tonight, everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We've learned to allow, and I've noticed as like tonight, where some of the conversations could get so far and then they kind of stopped.
Uh huh.
But we never have that. The 5 of us when we're working, a conversation always comes to a completed,
Oh, that's I hadn't
a
thought about
completion.
that.
It's
well.
A
We worked with the
revelation is-
concept of completionary,
right. Yeah,
and now we just do it automatically.
it is. It is, and having conversations with other people out sometimes is a little, could be frustrating, or
Because they don't do completionary.
yeah, they don't get to the end of it, where everybody's satisfied and everybody has received a new revelation, a new meaning.
I love that on the collage here. Over and over again, the words roll into new calculations. And that's true.
Yeah.
Just,
Well, like everything everybody said is like new to me,
yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
and it's like the joy of being with people that can bring new things into a space, and they come from their own feelings of things. That is rare.
Oh,
Yeah, and the flipping of perspectives
yes, yeah.
is just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
To run into that in all the different ways. It's like you flip a pancake, and and it's exciting to see what you've just
On the other
flipped
side.
over, but it's like but to do that in your life, I mean,
Oh.
to do that with what we talk about together, it's like
Mhm.
it is. It's a game changer. I mean, it's incredible. So there's so many new perspectives that can be flipped. Going through flip books and going
Yeah.
through all the things that
Yeah.
you guys include in here, it's just. I think it's a real treasure.
It's like we'll never run out of new combinations of
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
understandings and
Yeah,
And we flip
Learning.
things that feel impossible. It's like flipping a pancake. But, you know, things get to that. Well, when a pancake is cooked on one side, it's still all bubbly.
Yeah.
And it feels impossible. How are you going to get it to flip over and not all fall apart
Yeah.
right
till you get to
exactly.
the other side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta wait for the bubbles.
Yeah, the bubbles.
And I think, speaking of the flip books, that I think the fascinating thing in the Long Spoon is to, along with all the wonderful collages and the poetry surrounding it, the conversation that's involved with it, but then also we have included those 2 flip books, and that's like a pop-up book.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to skim past those. You really want to pop them open and flip through them because there is a lot of content in each one. It's just remarkable. So we'll always include 2 of the flip books from the previous classes
It's
that
very
we've
generous.
done.
I love that.
And I think with the wisdom cards, in reading them and all your collages is always a complete concept.
Oh, because we take it
when
to
we talk to
completion.
the poetry part.
Yeah.
I mean, it's from the first word to the last word. You have to stop and you have to allow it to swirl.
But you know, even in our menus, when we have a menu, we plan the menu together, and then when it starts popping out, every night it's a complete. It has a, it completes. It has some kind of salad, some kind of fruit. It's not like it has a completionary energy to it, and it wraps around it.
Yeah.
And that menu and what we eat in that food helps us assimilate the completion of a day, especially at supper.
Yeah.
And there are always new.
It's really
new
fun.
combinations.
It is.
Yeah.
We had the family over tonight. Suzanne, tell them what we had.
Made a homemade spaghetti sauce that's been handed down from a friend of yours. So you brought that recipe to our community. Over 30 years ago. So we've been making. You had been making it for your family.
It came from my mom's.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So your family.
My mom
legacy.
is like, she'd be 100 right now.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's
And then we've been making it in our community for over 30 years.
and it has pork tenderloin in it.
Yeah,
It's just,
it's
good.
the original from the Grisantes in Louisville, but they had an Italian restaurant. But anyway, it's wonderful, and we love it. And so it's simmered all day.
I think at Grandma's, I used to have such great memories of her making homemade Italian, meals like that, and just walking in and smelling that is the greatest olfactory memories. Like, but it's even better than hers. So. I won't tell her too loud. Grandma, if you could hear me, sorry. But it really is so good.
So that was really cool because it was simmering all day. So we had spaghetti, and then we had a Caesar salad, and we had bread with.
Love.
Huh?
All the kids love and all the
Yes, they do. We make homemade croutons and our own dressing and everything. And then we had bread with pesto herb butter, parsley and basil pesto butter.
Which was delicious.
well, Robert bought out mine, but I didn't get that.
You didn't
You're
get
terrible.
any? Oh, no. There's more left. Don't worry. You won't be left out.
Oh no, maybe I did have a little bit.
And then we had some corn on the cob and a little bit of watermelon, and that was it for that.
It was a
and then we had
feast.
found a cake, and so it was wonderful.
It
just
was.
fun.
It
Kick
was
off
fun.
the summer.
Yeah, this was our first meal together outside. We'll be outside together for
Now,
the rest of the summer now every week, but we've been inside for the winter months for
So
a
it's
while.
inside the red fence
Yes, and the
it-
red tent.
tent. Yes, and there's enough room in the red tent for you know 11,
Yeah,
11 of
12,
us, 12
yeah.
of us sitting
Yeah.
on the inner and the outer edges,
Yeah.
but all being
all
it's
And we
so
had a
much
lot
fun.
of color on our
Yeah, and
plate.
to have
too.
Yes,
the proper
lots of
picture
color.
of the tent, it's the red canopy, and it's got screened sides, so it's not like an enclosed tent. You have a nice open.
But that kind of protects you
Screening.
from
Yeah.
the mosquitoes,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really
Yeah.
really fun. And we use that tent all day. Robert and I do work there. We take a nap in the tent.
Yep.
We have on Sunday. We usually have breakfast there, all of us
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And then if we in the afternoon want to sit around and just talk, we have dinner there and then sit and talk.
Yeah.
Lots of
And-
chairs and tables and
yeah.
lamps.
And
there.
but and it's just fabulous. And so part of our day we work in the red tent if we're working with computers and things. Otherwise, we'll work in the swing
Yeah.
and then we go to the Rose Cottage to paint.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
We have tables everywhere.
I really love the red tent.
It sure is multi-purpose.
It really is. It is.
And it's a long spoon to us. It feeds us.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's like the
Oh,
garden's
that's
long
well
spoon
said,
to
yeah.
us.
Oh, wow.
You know?
yeah. And if we have any family come, like last summer, we fed them
Mhm.
everything in the red tent. We all sat
Yeah.
and talked
Yep.
in the red
Yeah.
tent.
Yeah.
And they were all comfortable and served them wonderful, colorful things.
Mm-hmm.
And so Suzanne's family, some of them are coming this summer.
Uh-huh.
Sure, they'll get to eat in the red tent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're looking
Fun.
forward to it.
Yes, and that'll be
That'll
cool.
be really great.
And the kids we're having birthday next week for Robert and the two, Daniel and Ethan,
Mhm.
and we'll have a birthday party in the red tent.
That's going to be
Yes.
so great.
Yeah.
Birthdays 3 days in a row. And it was here
Wow.
11, 12, and 13.
Yeah, your
so
sister
she-
came last year and we
Mhm.
entertained them
Yeah,
in the
and
red
she's
tent.
talking about
Yeah.
coming again this year, so sometime.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Don't know when.
The boys are going to be 20 this year.
But,
Yeah.
no, and that's
That's big.
something. I'm going to be
That's
21.
when- I know.
Oh, my gosh,
Plus.
Robert. Can you believe it?
Yeah, and they came here to live when they were 5.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
It's so
It's
cute
hard
because
to imagine.
tonight Ethan said to me, I can't wait to be old.
The what?
that's
Ethan
great.
said, I can't wait to be old.
Oh,
I
really?
think it'll be cool being old.
He'll
And I
be
said,
20.
well, you know, it's kind of
He'll
cool
be in.
because they said usually, I think most people, somewhere around their late 20s, early 30s is where that part of them stays that age for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they grow in consciousness and changes and experiences and stuff.
That's
But
cool.
as far as the being that they are,
Mm.
that's about where they gravitate to.
When you
and
think
stay.
of yourself.
When you think
Yeah.
of yourself.
Even as
I
you're
agree.
older, you
Right.
still
Yeah,
are
think
there.
of yourself
Oh,
like
yeah,
it's
that.
like-
yeah,
it's
that
like
age.
the outer shell may
Yeah.
change, but that's still your core
That,
self.
Oh,
that's
that's
an
cool.
interesting
And he liked that.
observation.
I thought
I've
it's
thought
really
about
cool.
that a lot.
Wow.
It's true.
Very true.
Yeah, because you act just the same age.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
You just
You think connect the
My
similar.
timeless beauty.
That is amazing.
Well,
You
how's
really
that
do.
for a note of a tabletop conversation?
Yeah. I love it.
How about anything else?
Anything else for June? Except I'm looking forward to the garden's bounty.
Yeah.
I mean, not
Yeah.
not food harvest, though that's part of it, but just the color. Oh my
The
gosh.
summer solstice. This is,
It's gonna be
we
so
always
wonderful.
love.
And we have the alignment of the planets right now going
Yeah.
on
Right.
from I think it was like, actually from May 31st through about the 8th or 9th is that time span where you
Wow.
can see those 7 or 8 planets in a row, either with your eye or with binoculars. That's pretty phenomenal.
I tried to look last night, but I didn't see him.
We'll have to go down
I think
to
it
the
happens-
water.
Yeah, I think so.
somewhere.
It's too much.
I think it happens once every
I was thinking,
100
hoping
years
people
or
would have it
something,
on
but all but
Facebook.
the
and
9
What
planets,
happened?
photographs, but nobody
that,
posted
that
anything.
alignment.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Nothing yet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Wow.
we're starstruck here. Listen to the silence.
I know.
I
It
just
should go
love
off
the collage.
into the
It's just,
vastness of space.
I know.
I mean, it is like a kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
It's just
It is.
of the collage
Constantly
itself.
changing, yeah.
Yeah, it is neat.
That was one of my favorite things as a kid was a kaleidoscope.
Me
Just,
too.
oh, it's like, and it
Fascinating.
was never the same. What you were seeing, it's like you could never
Mhm.
never replicate it again. Like in that one moment is what you're seeing, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I think
It's
I'm
magical.
glad that you brought
Mhm.
that up, Sandra, because that really, that collage even holds that.
Oh, it does. I
kaleidoscopic-
mean,
Yeah, it really
You
does.
can just imagine it keep changing.
Oh, that is
It looks
just
like
a-
it
Yeah.
looks like what a morning glory, like when it, like a flower that starts to kind of
Yeah.
twist
Unfold,
open. I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot of origami in there too.
yeah.
He was really brilliant, Dr. Kalida. He was so cool at coming up with that kind of a
Was that-
instrument.
That
Dr.
was his
Kalida.
name?
No, I just made that up.
Oh my gosh, Robert, I believed you.
I did too.
It's now in my head. I have like a wrinkle in my brain.
I think actually we have to look it up and
She'll
see
be
if that's
telling
not
everybody
the case.
that.
I'm going to
I
tell
have no idea.
everybody that for sure.
Dr.
I'm now I have
Kalida.
to unlearn that. Thanks a lot.
Well, it may be true. We don't know. We have to, we have to check it out.
But that would
Google that,
really
okay?
make sense.
I
I
knew
know.
you'd lie.
you know. You can tell
She
when
knows
he's
my
lying.
humor.
Yeah.
She knows when.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to look it up now.
Oh, yes, she does.
Oh, God.
Who invented the kaleidoscope? Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh.
So we're getting ready for a very rich season.
Yes.
And time, we were talking last night about that there's different kinds of people that, and I was thinking about people when they talk about manifestation and they get all excited about it, that there are people that want to manifest in the outer world, and that's a whole level, and that's really good. And then there are people that come to a point
yeah,
in their
like this.
lives that they want to dive deeper in their inner world, and it's almost like a Taurus going
Yeah.
in,
Mhm.
and their manifestation direction is in the inner world.
Yeah.
Their manifestation is in themselves.
Yeah.
It's in their inner world. It's in their perspectives and how they can see, and that is a real manifestation. Although, that's when they say manifestation, people don't think of that. They think of outer manifestation. You know,
Objects.
I manifested this, and I got that, and I got that, and that is a level. But there is another manifestation that goes inner, not outer, and as it goes, it's like everything in your inner world that you would manifest from, or you're going to manifest in your outer world, in your inner world, you are fine-tuning the idea of manifestation. You're fine-tuning it to be you, and you manifesting yourself to become a larger perspective than you've had before.
Yeah.
But eventually, in the manifestation of your inner world, in that dive, at some point, that inner world starts manifesting in the outer world.
Yeah.
And it's a whole different journey. There are people in the outer world that start manifesting in the outer world. Then there are people that go into the inner world, and from what they've changed within themselves, they start manifesting that in the outer world.
I love it.
And that for me is the clearer place to be.
Yeah.
And so we've found ourselves in our life, as we've gone deeper and deeper into manifesting a deeper dive in our inner world, what we manifest in the outer world, comes from things we never think of.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's like all at once something comes to you, but it's not in the way that things come to people in the outer world,
Right.
but it does manifest and help you in the outer world. And in it also, you have yourself right side up, so that when you manifest, you can actually handle what you manifest in the outer world. You can actually work with it.
Yeah.
I mean, there are things that are happening like in this world right now, in the outer world. And the only way you're going to be able to change that or be able to work with it is that you have to go deep into the inner world,
Yeah.
and then you manifest how to work with that in the outer world.
Yeah.
I love that.
And
See,
that's a life journey, and it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it to get things that are upside down in the outer world, and you turn them right side up in the inner world,
Wow.
and then you manifest from
To
that
the
inner
outer
world,
Mm,
and it
Ah.
turns right side up in the outer world.
that's so cool.
That's exactly what you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Wrote.
is.
And that's part of a flip book.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
flipping
right,
the
honestly.
perspective is that study. So our life is very intentional and intended for that, and it's well worth it.
Mhm.
It's time well spent.
Yes.
It's not like you're actually you may not be a big money business world, but whatever you have makes you richer than a millionaire,
Mm.
because they can come to that, but they don't know how to eat. They get themselves to the table, but they have too small a mouth
You are so
to
right.
eat what
they
they
don't know how
get.
to assimilate. Yeah.
And we see that in people right now in the world that are very wealthy, but they've come to the table, but their mouth is too small.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what you want to do is when you come to the table, it's something that you can eat and you long for.
And long for and
Yeah,
Mm.
and that's like we're working with the Mediterranean to bring more color on another whole level of our life. It's so fun. Y'all are
That is
so
really
fun in the
fun.
kitchen working with it too.
Well,
Thank you.
I was just realizing as you were talking something really cool, because I think at this time of the season, stepping into spring and summer, coming out of a Maine winter where we all tend to naturally think of going inward and having the time and space to, do more inner work and, just be more reflective and all of that. And like that, the summer, all of a sudden you're thrown out of that. But I realized that the garden plan that we have, I've really noticed it and become more aware of it and appreciative of it in the past couple of years, is that it helps me, I'll just speak for myself, it helps me integrate my inner world. And so, like, I have this opportunity, even though it's a different rhythm and a different energy for the summer, where it feels like it's more busy, it's more external, it's more, all of those things. But something about the garden and being outside so much provides this still amazing support, because it helps me integrate my inner world and the levels of consciousness that I'm wanting to achieve and keep moving and growing. And so there is really no separation anymore, even though the rhythm feels different. I don't feel myself not being able to be internal during the summer anymore. It's like it's just different, but it's still there. The spaces are provided, the zones that we talked about are provided. You can make and find ways to still take those deep inner dives, even in the busyness of summer, the externalness of summer.
That's really beautiful. I think that the garden is kind of like the whole world for us,
Yes, it is.
and that what we take in internally, there are all these places in the garden to actually, like you say, integrate it
Yeah.
in the garden. And so the whole garden is internal space, even though it's outside and
Yes.
external.
Yes.
All of it's set up for internal space. And that doesn't happen a lot for people.
I mean, I've never
It takes
experienced
intention.
that before here.
I mean, usually you have to travel to get to some place in the woods or some place by the beach that you've been dreaming of, to have that. But as we have done this here, uh, you still can travel at times, but what you need is all day long.
Yeah.
And so it's like when you're cooking, and then we see you come outside and we talk a little bit, and then you take your yoga mat and you go onto the yoga deck and do your yoga. And it's like
It's such a beautiful
Christina,
space.
she goes out in the morning, you all
Yeah.
walk sometimes, and then she does her work, and then she comes back, and then there's an internal space to touch base with, and then go back, and there has to be.
That meditation yoga space is just phenomenal.
Oh,
To have that, to be surrounded by all the plants in the garden,
And the flowers
and nature,
trees
and the sun, and the clouds, and it is so delicious.
it really
I'm
is.
so
I
grateful
love-
for that space, because we've been, we do yoga up in our room, and it's
Very
cramped. And
cramped.
you only do it so you're like, oh look, my left arm has been able to stretch out, but this one's like this. So it's like now it's like, oh look, you move both arms now. I love it. It feels really nice.
it's so true.
I did want to share, if anyone's interested, that the kaleidoscope was invented by David Brewster, who was a Scottish inventor in 1816, and he was 35. And apparently, it's a Greek word.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Greek.
I thought that was so funny.
Great
The
word.
Greek word,
Yes.
Carlos.
That's why you can always find little kaleidoscopes on the store shelf next to Windex.
Oh my God! Yes, exactly.
Only my big
That
fat
is so
Greek
funny.
wedding
God, I love
fans
that
will
movie.
get that
I
reference.
love that movie.
Well, Sandra spends so much time in the garden all day long, moving
Yeah.
from.
He's
But it's amazing to me that lots of the garden is elevated, so
Yes.
she can with the large troughs and things, and
Mhm.
so she just kind of moves between all of them all morning, and you'll come out there and you'll see her beautiful gray hair, over there leaning into one of the
Into
troughs,
the
making sure everything
vines.
gets watered, and then she has the hose going from trough to trough like a little bridge. And then she spends the whole morning watering the garden, and on all three sides, four sides, all four sides. But it's almost like, it looks like a meditation almost.
It is. I mean, each plant. I'm becoming, not always remembering their names, but there's a whole feeling in each plant. And like I love when I was talking today about the smaller troughs that you did. It's like looking
Oh,
into
they're
a
so
forest.
cute, aren't they?
I mean,
Cafe
where
love
Suzanne with her designing abilities, there's this plant and this plant, and they have nothing to do with each other, but they're all together, and it's wonderful, and it's just like,
A
whoa,
bouquet.
it's a bouquet. It's like
Yeah.
an art piece. I mean, it's like, wow, I could never do that. I'm here, here, and here, and
Everything's got a match.
oh yeah.
Well, it must have taken me a while. I had Valley Hill for about 15 years.
Right. I mean, it was like you were making a wreath.
Oh, thank you.
Decorating a hat. I mean, it just.
Just once you're like his
And I
face.
got really hung up with it today. It was just like, whoa.
Oh, it's just wonderful to see you in it. And then all at once, Suzanne comes out and she's got her little scissors and
Yep.
she's going out there, clipping little
You're
things.
making lunch. You
and,
go, oh, I'm going to get some
Yeah.
chives, and oh, I need a little basil. for
and
this,
pop some
and-
beans while I'm out here.
What a
And then the
lucky-
two of you all go out.
Luxury. I
It
love
is a
that, to
luxury.
go out and just grab what you want.
I
and
feel
have it
like
be
I'm at a
fresh and
restaurant
stuff.
where I can just
Good.
run out, like these little restaurants now, the farm to table things where they run out and
Mhm.
they grow a lot of their own herbs that they're using in their kitchen
That's true.
to serve food, and you can
Well,
just
you all are
run
so
out.
cute too, the two of you, when you go out and then you disappear over into the side.
Oh,
It's the yellow garden. It's all yellow.
Oh,
And your
yellow.
red swing, and you're over there, and you're just talking and talking. And it's fun to see.
Oh, it's
To
fun
get
to
to
do
see.
it.
Uh-huh.
It's soothing of the
It's
body
very
too. To
soothing
rock
to
like
swing.
that. Swing.
Kind of like the ocean.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and we've talked a lot about the idea that when you're trying to change or grow or move into a new shift into a new space that you've been longing for, you have to do the back and forth before you can actually swing all the way into the new pattern of where you're going.
Oh, it's so
And
true.
there's a soothing, it's so that it's not cathartic. It's like when you can rock yourself in any way, especially like swinging or whatever, then you're able to do that back and forth and comfort yourself until you can get okay with the new pattern, the new space that you're moving into. And I've really taken that concept in and found it to be very true, and not really realized how important it was to do that for yourself, even as an adult, especially. You don't think you're to do that as an adult,
You're
but
too old to do
actually, the more adult you are trying to move old patterns out and move into new patterns, the more you need to do that to nurture yourself and support yourself through those changes.
We use it as a healing modality.
We really do.
Mhm.
It's like,
Me
have you
too.
had your swing time today?
I mean, it's
She'll
like,
call me from the road
it's a
and go,
major
have you been on the
rotation.
swing yet today?
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I mean, I'm a swinger, and it's a great humming place.
Yeah.
I can hum, if not sing, I can at least hum there, and it's
Yeah.
part of what they call somatic.
Yeah.
When you're
body.
somatic healing. That those are all things that are that, and we
Yeah.
intuitively have been placing that in our garden.
Yeah.
So true.
With the red fence.
Yeah.
And the red fence, do you know that red fences painted red? Years ago, I had looked that up. And red fences are protection. They're borders, but they are protection against anything.
Wow.
And that's why fences are painted red. Is
Wow.
their protection borders. And we've always had a red fence, even in Georgia.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
We still have those.
And I didn't first put it like, oh, well, paint. I just automatically, intuitively painted it red.
Yeah.
But then later I saw, wow, that was so great.
Wow.
And it's fun too.
Yeah.
Well,
That was a very
This
full
is
conversation.
wonderful. Thank you all.
very full
Oh.
conversation.
We
Yeah.
love it.
I felt good about it. Did you all?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Is there
New
anything else
revelations.
that you want
No,
to share?
just enjoy the spoon because
Mhm.
it's part
It's chock
of
full again.
yeah, and it's definitely part of being able to take that deep inner dive and give yourself moments to do it and have inspiration and a jumping off point, to just intuitively scroll down and just stop your cursor and see where it lands and just let that, and then just go inside with it and just see what it brings you.
Oh, I
wanna
love that.
I want to print the printed sections and put it on our altars.
Oh yeah.
I
haven't done that
I want
yet.
to do that.
You're going to
This-
print the what?
That
Yeah,
printed
the
section
printed
that
section
you all
we
did.
have.
The
that you
altar
can print.
section that you
Oh.
allow
Put it
people
on
to
the
print
altar.
out.
Oh, yeah.
I want to
Mhm.
intention that. I made a new altar space
Okay.
in our
Yeah.
new
Room,
thing,
yeah.
and we want to
Be-
put that on.
well, you don't have to stay within those boundaries. You can
Okay.
print anything.
there. Okay, thank you.
But that would be so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We feel.
You always expand things. Like,
Mhm.
when you first started, we printed things and then you started laminating everything for us. And then we got little cards laminated. And all at once we had them on keychains and taking them off the
Well, you
page.
guys also made me a coloring book, and I was in heaven.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
Oh my
Anytime you
God.
want to make one for me, I will.
Oh, we will.
Yeah.
Yes, we would love
Oh
that.
yeah, that's,
Okay.
That's the best. That is
Okay.
awesome.
Okay, girls.
She has
Yeah.
a birthday coming up
Yeah.
in July.
Okay,
Lucky
how about
me.
birthday coloring
Okay,
book?
lucky me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun.
Wow.
Well, and
Mhm.
thank you so much for getting the Long Spoon and being part of our Long Spoon community.
Yes.
Yes.
It
Thank
makes-
you all.
Thank
In this world right now, it makes a huge difference to us.
Mhm.
The membership of the $10 a month is hugely
Helpful.
helpful, and we're
supportive.
grateful for it.
We are indeed.
Yeah, I think artists, we You know, they're all in that position where they rely on uh,
The kindness of.
the kindness of other people
Mm-hmm.
to support their creative life, and they're kind of like they. It's really great if they get it, but they have to do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many that have starved to death doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and because they don't really have a choice. Like, oh well, if I make enough money, I'll do it. They're really, you know, I have to do it,
Yeah.
and so I think it's a wonderful thing
Mm-hmm.
uh, to support, and we really appreciate it very much. Thank
Very
you.
good. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, this
Thank
is
you
our
all.
life work. Yeah.
Thank
Very
you very
generous.
much. For,
There we are.
A
for
generous spoon.
the-
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for joining us on this Tabletop conversation, and enjoy this month's long spoon, and then we will do it again in July.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Now,